Well, folks, it's that time of year now where, guess what? It's baseball season only. Yes! We break down some of our favorite players and some stories for our teams. We talk about dynasties, what that takes. And we do another wonderful rendition of ruining your favorite football franchise's top four players of all time. Buckle up, folks. This is the beginning of the 4-day weekend. Box scores and bourbon.
Look at the box scores.
Box scores and bourbon.
We check each other's box scores and scores online.
Baseball, box scores.
So football, baseball, basketball, soccer, hockey.
Box scores and bourbon.
Earlier this week, or last week, I can't remember. The days get so convoluted nowadays. The Lakers finally hired their new head coach after a long and extensive search. For those only listening to the pod, please note my quotations. This was not a long and extensive search. This was a short and one name only search, and it was J.J. Redick. And it was J.J. Redick from the very beginning because the Lakers had very strong convictions as to who they wanted to lead the team into the next generation of Laker greatness. Or in other terms, LeBron really wanted him and they were best friends. So J.J. Redick was hired, and he gave probably one of the worst introductory press conferences of all time. Not because he's a douchebag, but because he's a douchebag who only cares about himself. Throwing terms around like the engagement farming industry. Whatever that is, he's making it up on the spot. Stop trying to make up words, JJ. You can't make fetch happen. And then he drops an F-bomb in the middle of at the beginning of the press conference, as if he has no regard for his new team and the franchise that he is there to represent. What a disgrace. And I'm sick and tired of hearing people talk about, he did the worst thing in the world. As a professional, yeah, he did. He flubbed it up real bad. And I got people out there like Zach Gelb sitting there defending the man as if he doesn't have a secret boy crush on him as it is. But J.J. Redick has clearly already shown he's not the guy to lead this franchise. But who cares? Because you know why? LeBron's in charge. And that's all that matters, folks. We know LeBron's in charge. Because not only was J.J. Redick hired, but wait, there's more. Bronny was drafted in the second round of this recent draft. When we all know Bronny could have been had for almost nothing as an undrafted free agent in the NBA. There's no way this kid has even come close to being someone who should be considered drafted in the second round of the NBA draft. No way. Now, kudos to the Lakers for getting Dalton Connect with the 17th pick. That was kind of a good pick right there. I'd be surprised to see how much LeBron actually lets him play next season. But I want to talk about the dynasty of the Lakers. The team of Jerry Buss, the great flamboyant philanthropist who bought the Lakers and brought them into just the spotlight and made them who they are today. And then you had the players like Jerry West and Kareem and Magic and Shaq and Kobe. And now LeBron James. Now, I get it. The Lakers probably trying to get LeBron his one last ring, probably trying to bring one last ring to LA. That makes sense. They wasted the last years of Kobe's career with nothing to show for it. But let me remind you that the last time that the Lakers won the conference championship and the NBA finals was only one time. It was in 2020. They have done nothing since. And that was the last NBA championship they had and the conference championship they had until 2010, Kobe's last championship year with the Lakers. So I get it. The Lakers are doing everything they can to be able to give their franchise, their fans, what they deserve to see on the court as the most star-studded franchise of all time. But is giving LeBron the reins really the legacy you want to leave with this Lakers franchise? I would hate to be the one, to be Rob Pelinka, and to know that not only did the Lakers not win another championship, but they wasted 2 more years, $104 million to give a spot to LeBron James, who may very well just flame out. Hey, time's a tricky mistress. It waits for no one. He could flame out. JJ Redick could flame out too and just be another one of the victims of LeGM. But you know what? I'm pulling for the Lakers. I'm pulling for them to succeed, to give the NBA something back to its glory days. Maybe they can return there, but I have my doubts, especially when we let one man run the entire franchise. Manny, engagement farming industry, that's not a thing. We can't just make up words. Can't make up words. What is this?
You can't make a word soup and expect it's going to make sense.
You can't make fetch happen. Oh, good Lord.
I'm guessing you're not very happy about the happenings in the LA district.
I just don't know why it took so long. Like, what was all this? Dan Hurley was never a real candidate. It was never going to happen, ever. JJ Redick was the only guy on this list from the word go. The only guy.
True.
And to sit there and to pretend as if there was this long, extensive search, and then you get this douchebag on the stage at his introductory press conference, bringing shame to your entire franchise. Who does this? Who does this? Who sits up there and acts like it's all about them? And JJ Redick has all along been about just him for a long time. It explains why him and LeBron are such close friends.
I was gonna say maybe that's why they're such good buddies. So I'm a fan. We're fans of giving out flowers around here, right? So we have to give you your flowers for We've been calling this out for how long have we been talking about JJ Redick going to be the head coach since the moment they fired him?
The moment they fired Darvin Ham. Yeah, this was 2 months ago. Yeah.
So we knew what was happening before they knew what was happening, apparently. So flowers to you, JB. I was disappointed when the JJ Redick news, fine. We saw it coming. You saw it coming, and you kind of sold me on it. But I was hopeful that maybe he, as a player and what he ended up last year being a commentator, analyst, whatever title you want to put to his name, I thought he was going to have a bigger sense of professionalism once he took on the role of a head coach, which is, by all definitions, you're the face of the franchise and whatever. You're the guy that's going to be doing the interviews every game. All players can sit in and out of doing post-game interviews. As a head coach, you don't have that choice. I just expected him to be more professional, and he kept coming out and saying, "I don't give an F what anybody thinks about me," and all these other, college talk or high school words that he decided to use. It was quite disappointing. But maybe it's something that after the front office will be like, "What the hell are you doing, dude? Like, this is where the Lakers pride themselves in being a pristine, high quality franchise, a good glass of wine," and maybe they'll tell them this is not. We don't want to be that kind of persona. But maybe they're like what you said. Maybe it's all about LeBron, and they don't really care because LeBron's calling the shots, so they're gonna sit back and let whatever happen.
Well, you think about it. Let's cheers ourselves in.
Oh yes,
welcome
cheers.
back home, my man. Welcome back home.
I am here. I am home.
Clink clink. Got your picture of David Bowie behind you, or
that's right,
Gloria Estefan.
That is my mariachi lady.
No, so you think about the last 5 years of Kobe's career, they wasted it.
They did.
Granted, Kobe was hurt those last 2 years. He was essentially ineffective and unavailable, but they wasted those years. And then you had that 5-year period before they won their next championship, in which one of those years was them trading away everything in the world to go get a number 2 for LeBron and Anthony Davis.
Yep.
And they finally win something in 2020. They've done almost nothing of merit since. I mean, they've snuck into the playoffs. We've applauded for some reason, we've looked at applauding the NBA world applauded the Lakers for squeaking in when every pundit's like, he's the greatest player ever played a game, blah blah blah, and we applaud him for squeaking his way into the playoffs. I mean, thank goodness they have the play in, because without the play in, they wouldn't even be in it for one of those years. So
both of those years, the year they made the conference championship against the Warriors, they were a play-in team. So if it wasn't for the play-in, they would be missing the playoffs regularly since their championship.
So it's just it's one of those things where I could see what the Lakers are trying to do, but
you can, because I'm struggling to see it.
All I can see is that and they're going about it the worst way possible. But just real quickly, you look at the LeBron's on his last legs,
right?
Kobe was on his last legs. They did nothing for Kobe. Now they have one of the greatest on their team again on his last legs. They're trying to do everything they can to bring a championship here, but they're going about it the wrong way because they're giving free reign to LeBron, to one player, but everyone else around him takes the fall, and LeBron gets a new 2-year contract.
Yeah,
like, none of that makes sense.
I was hoping you brought up the 2-year contract, because I was internally laughing a lot when free agency started and the conversation started happening where they said, well, LeBron's going to opt out of his contract to give room to get a new contract, and he's willing to take a pay cut if they can bring in another all-star. Mm-hmm. And then he ended up signing a 2-year, $102 million contract. Yeah. So he didn't take a pay cut, and he's as history has shown us with LeBron James, he's taken the max deals as much as possible. Mm-hmm. And
he's like,
I don't know if I don't know if he didn't wait it out, or if nobody wanted to go to the LA, or what, or he just got greedy. He's like, F this, I want my money, whatever. But that's not how you build a team. But but that's not how you build a team.
Anything but himself. Yeah.
True.
And that's what I'm saying is that you have the Lakers trying to do what they can, but they're going about it the wrong way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolute wrong way.
And so, here's my point with that, and probably be a perfect segue for everything that we're going to be discussing. So whenever a good player prioritizes wanting to win, history shows us that the best player on the team takes a pay cut for the bettering of the team, and all the great players have succeeded in that when they have that mindset, not being the highest paid player on their team, to build a good team. And regularly, LeBron James has not followed that principle, and then people sit here and wonder why he doesn't have more championships and why he hasn't. He's considered number 2 behind Michael Jordan as far as greatest player of all time, is because of that part of things, because he does put himself first, and he doesn't allow for a team to build around him. It's just Tom Brady. I think maybe 2 years, maybe 1 year, he was the highest paid quarterback or in the league, and how many rings did he end up getting because of that mindset? 7.
It's a bunch.
The script is there. It's not hard to see that whenever you're willing to do something for the bettering of the team, it'll pay off. I just don't understand what he wants to do. I don't understand what he wants to play 4 different chessboard games, and he can't choose which one he wants to win at.
Yeah. Well, he's not good at any of it. He's not good at chess at all. And so he's playing checkers while having an AI play chess for him on the computer next to him and saying, "Ha, got ya." But he's all these and I brought up the conference championships. I didn't mean conference championships. I meant division championships. They have only won one division championship. That was 2020. That was the year they won the finals. And the last time they won one was 2010. The last year Kobe won a championship. So nothing is going right in this era. Nothing. Nothing is going right. Even last year when the Brow played the most games in the season in his entire career.
And they still ended up in a play-in. It is. So our podcast has not existed since 2020. We've never talked about this. what is your stance on the bubble championship? Do you give him just as much credit as you do another championship? Because the LA teams kind of did
No,
it. The Dodgers and the Lakers won it in the same year, so it was the City of Champions
no,
for a COVID year.
no, I don't. You didn't accomplish anything. All you accomplished was be and that's what makes it worse. That's what makes it worse for LeBron is that they won the bubble championship.
Yep.
You don't want that. You don't want that. Like you want that on your record. Oh, I won a championship, but it was a shortened season and no one could watch us play.
And it was
Like
after
what? That's
let's throw out there, it was after what 3-4 months of rest after they had started the season. So it was
yeah.
like the perfect
This took
storm
place
for
in
him.
June, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was in June.
So
Yeah. So like they didn't play anything. They're just like, all right, well, they played like another month before that, and then
let's
just and then
it's
something
blurry of how
stupid.
it went, but that was also statistically Anthony Davis's best year because they got that rest, and LeBron James killed it in the bubble because they got that rest. So you were talking about the 2020 championship, and I was waiting for you to throw that caveat out there. So like, it's not.
I forgot all about that. I honestly did. Like I forget about that whole freaking rigmarole of like playing sports but pretending to care, and we care but pretending to play sports. Like I forget about the whole thing, but you bring it up and it's like that makes it worse, and it makes it even more evident as to why the Lakers are doing what they're doing. Does it make sense? Is it the right move? Absolutely not. No, because the one man who is responsible for all of this is still around. You just gave him $104 million.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not doing anything to incentivize. There are no consequences for LeBron to do a better job.
Right.
You're just like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. Because they keep paying him max contracts even though he hasn't done anything but one conference championship appearance since the COVID year. So, but that goes in with what we're gonna discuss. Like when you take a pay cut and you build a solid team, that's how you build a dynasty when it comes to the sports world. And like I said, we've seen it time and time again. So, transitioning, I want to hear what your definition of a dynasty is.
The dynasty is a team that does the right things well over a consistent period of time. Okay. You don't have to win championship after championship. Okay. You can be like, I look at the Pittsburgh Steelers as a dynasty.
Okay.
They've only won
currently Steelers?
Even
or
currently.
Like the 80s. Okay.
Even currently. Like just like they Mike Tomlin consistently gets this team to the playoffs. They do the right things well, and they do it consistently. Mm-hmm. And they are always in the playoffs. They always have a chance. With a dynasty is a team where you look at them and you say they could probably win it all this year.
So would you classify LeBron James in Miami, that era, which he was there 5 years, I think, in Miami? Yeah. Would you classify that time frame as him being a part of a dynasty? They won 2 championships. Okay.
Yeah. In spite of Chris Bosh's existence, yes, that was a dynasty.
Okay.
That was a dynasty. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So LeBron, as being the greatest player that is playing the game currently, has been part of one dynasty, and it has been trying to build. He tried to build 2 additional. He tried going back to Cleveland and doing something dominating Cleveland. He just happened to.
Yep.
The argument that I have is that he happened to run into the Golden State Warriors when he was in Cleveland.
Well, yeah, he happened to run into that dynasty. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the. I could argue that maybe his Cleveland era of the second time around maybe was a dynasty, but they won 1 championship. They made it to the finals 3 times.
That was an epic championship, though. So
yeah, that was a great.
That was an epic championship.
But they had to come back from 3-1 and win a Game 7, which had never happened before. Which kudos to LeBron James for pulling it off. But again, they
Yeah.
had to resort to that to be a 72-win team. But I've written down some other teams and eras, and I want you to tell me if you did, or will consider them a dynasty. All right?
Okay, let's play this.
We started. Will segue perfectly into the next one. The Warriors of the teens when they won 4 championships. I think that's a unanimous dynasty.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No question about it. So we'll take a 2-second moment of silence to RIP that dynasty for ending since Klay Thompson is gone from the Warriors. So rest in peace, Warriors dynasty. The Spurs of the 2000s
Oh,
with Tim
yes.
Duncan. Okay.
Yes. Yes. I would even say the Spurs of the late 90s.
Well, it was consistent. That's the nice thing about them.
Yeah.
They built it in the 90s.
Yeah.
They won here and there, and they brought it into the 2000s.
Because David Robinson left, Tim Duncan was still there, and they didn't miss a beat. It just continued.
Yeah.
It just kept going on.
And one of LeBron's championships with Miami was against the Spurs when Kawhi was there. So they were still dominating during that time frame. So that was a long era.
I would even argue that was 2 dynasties because David Robinson is a great player in his own right, and then he leaves, and Tim Duncan's still there. I would almost make the argument that the dynasty, it like you could still call the Spurs a dynasty, but there was a split and it continued.
But isn't that in my opinion, that solidifies one great dynasty? The fact that you have player turnover and you still have that winning mentality.
Yeah, no, but this is more about giving credit to the guy who was there before Duncan.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
The next easy one. These are low-hanging fruit to start off. The 90s Bulls.
I'm kidding. No, absolutely.
Okay.
Those could be considered 2 dynasties because Michael left and came back.
Well, sure. And then for all the you,
I'm not saying that it is. I'm just saying like if you could ever like create like a dynasty line of demarcation where the success didn't stop. You can like that is an example of how you could do that.
That's fair. But it's again, the consistency level is what I consider because they were still in the playoffs and they still were competitive. I think they made the conference final the year that Michael Jordan.
I believe so.
Wasn't there.
So
and for those of you 94? That haven't seen, and for the people that haven't seen The Last Dance, watch it because it will show you about that time frame really well. I love that series.
Michael, we'll talk about Michael. You will not be disappointed.
Okay. The next one. This is a short stint one. The Lakers of the 2000s up to 2002. The Lakers of the Shaq and Kobe's when they went the
oh yeah.
Okay.
What 2000, 2001, 2002? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That was a Kobe and Shaq three-peat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to start changing it up on you. The Astros from 17 to 22. Keep in mind,
it's really hard.
They won 2 championships during that time. They won it in 17 and 22. So they started it and they ended it.
I know they won 2 championships. I know they won 2 championships.
You ain't trying if you ain't cheating is what they say.
That's what they wrote in the trash can. That is you know what? As much as I hate the Astros of that period, I have to give it to them. I have to.
I have to too. They won the series in 17, and then I think so. It's a 6-year time frame. They won it in 17 and 22. In those 4 years, they lost in the ALCS.
In the
ALCS. I think all 4 of those years they made it. So that's a hard one to fight against, even though the window or the time frame in between their championships is longer than what we would consider stability and longevity. Okay. The Yankees from the late 90s up until 2000. So their prime, I would say, was 98 to 2000.
Forget about it. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, like, and I would even say the Braves from that time period. The Braves from about
Okay.
95 all the way through 2000. I would
Okay.
say the Braves.
Okay. I didn't even think
Yeah.
about the Braves. That's fair. Even now,
Yeah.
maybe not.
Even though the Braves didn't, they won what? They didn't win anything. They didn't win any World Series during that time. So because the Indians were there. The Indians were there cutting them down. So
I have a maybe it's like it'll be like in the next few in the years to come we'll look back, but I have a feeling like we consider even the Braves of these last 5 years kind of a dynasty-ish since Acuna's
scratch
been
that.
there.
They won in 95. That's right. They did win in 95. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
96 and 98 were the years that 98 thought the Braves were going to take it over.
Right.
But then the Yankees came along.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so
Okay. Now
you're welcome.
the Patriots will knock out the last easy one. The Patriots, pretty much the 25 years that Brady was there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now is
Yeah.
is there a window that you
years that he was there?
is there a window that you consider the dynasty, or is it just the entire time that Brady and
The
Belichick?
whole time. Because every year was like they can win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to win. Like
That's
that's what I'm talking about. Like that's what I'm talking. Like you don't have to win it. Like there's no. I mean, the Bills from 90 to 93. That
Sure.
was a dynasty.
Sure.
They won nothing. They won absolutely nothing. But that was a dynasty. So
Here's the thing. I feel like you have to win something to be considered a dynasty.
No.
One, put you in the conversation. Like two, during that time frame that you're looking at, two solidifies you
No.
as a dynasty. That's how I look at it.
No, I don't think so because all you have to do is look at the team and say that team. There's no doubt that team could win it all. No doubt at all. Even if they don't, stuff happens all the time. Those
Right.
90s Bills, those 4 years, they were a dynasty. Did they win
Okay.
anything? No, they didn't. But doesn't take it away. Don't take it away from them. So, yeah, it's just I have a hard time believing. It's like the whole MVP conversation. Like the person who wins MVP has to be on the team that makes it to the playoffs. I don't think so.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think that's true either.
I don't think that's true.
The same way that
Then Mike Trout would have no MVPs ever.
Yeah. Well, that's yeah. The same way that they treat like especially in the NBA Finals MVP, whoever the winning team, the best player on the winning team tends to win the MVP.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
shout out to the NHL for not following that, but that's besides the point.
Oh yeah.
The perfect transition from the Bills, the Cowboys of the early 90s dynasty.
Yeah.
You hate to say it.
Even though they smoked the grass and snorted the lines on the field, yeah, they were a dynasty. Yes, they were.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have two more for you. One of them has ended, so we'll go with that one first. Would you consider Nick Saban's time in Alabama as a dynasty?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That is something that will never be replicated. It just won't.
Georgia's doing it right now.
Georgia started to do it right now. Georgia is now in the steps where like now they can get their own cereal from the pantry. Now they can feed themselves basic things for breakfast.
Wait a minute.
That's where Georgia is.
Why is your bar so much higher for college sports or college football at that? Because they've won 2 championships with the current.
It's so much harder in college sports because these players don't stay. They
right.
leave.
So then by that definition,
Nick Saban's last 6 years, players would be there for 15 seconds and they would go.
Right.
And then and I don't think it's going to stay. It's never going to be the same. Not with NIL now.
Right.
NIL's and all the transfer rules. Kids get 18 years of eligibility. Like I'm pretty sure Chris Winkie could still go back to college. and you have another year of eligibility
30
and blame it on COVID.
38-year-old Brandon Whedon could go back and be an all.
I mean, honestly, dude. I mean, like it's not going to be replicated. It's not
Okay,
going to be.
but the argument that I had in mind for the Bama thing is because there's such a big turnover in the players. Do we not consider player retainability and like the core of your players? When do we stop looking at the players and what makes up the team as part of the dynasty? Because right now, if we're talking
Every
about
3
Bama,
years.
but if we're talking about no, because the Bama players were Bama was on mark rotating players every 2 years because you had to play 2 years to go into the NFL. So
Yeah.
they were rotating them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when do we stop considering players as part of the dynasty and we just start attaching it to a single individual, which in this case is Nick Saban? So Nick Saban.
I think that's the wrong question
Okay.
because even when you look at the, I mean, it's easier in pro sports because when you look at the dynasties, you can pinpoint players who have stayed there because they were paid. When you look in college, it will more so be tied to the head coach, mostly because the players are there 2 to 3 years, and the head coach is the one that remains the same, and even the constant turnover of the assistants.
Right.
There's a churn there because those guys are getting jobs. So most of it's going to stay with the head coach.
So why do you think twice before giving Georgia already the strong foundation for a dynasty? I know you're saying they're starting, but they won 2 championships.
I'm not saying Georgia won't become a dynasty. I'm saying that Georgia will. It will be really hard for Kirby to match what Nick did at Alabama.
But we're not playing comparison here. That's the thing. Kirby's already won 2 championships.
We're not. I'm not saying Georgia. Georgia's got. Georgia's on. I would dare to say Georgia is a dynasty right now, because you look at Georgia and you say Georgia can win it all. But what I heard your question was, I thought the implied question was like if like the greatest of all time was Nick Saban,
sure,
and what he did at Bama. I'm saying I don't think that's gonna. I don't think we'll ever see anything like that on that level.
Oh, for sure,
again.
Yeah. When you're looking at
that's what I'm saying.
Sure, but I'm looking at it from the organization.
I'm not taking anything away from Georgia at all. Not whatsoever. Georgia is a dynasty. For all intent and purposes of this conversation, they absolutely a dynasty.
Okay. So, yeah, because the way that I view dynasties, and now I kind of view it in 2 sentences. One, multiple championships or multiple chances at like the finish line for the championship. And 2, what was my second one? Oh, you're the team that no matter what, at the beginning of the year, you are the team that everybody knows they have to chase. That's how I view a dynasty. So by that definition, that's why I was wondering about the Georgia thing, because everybody knows the team to beat right now is Georgia. I don't care that Michigan won the championship last year.
Yeah. No, Georgia was a dynasty. Clemson was a dynasty. You go from Deshaun Watson to Trevor Lawrence.
True.
That was a dynasty. That was a dynasty right there.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So the last one on my list, let me see. Yeah, the last one on my list. The 2023 season and beyond Boston Celtics. I'll give you a moment to think. Are they bound to be a dynasty is the question.
I think they're bound to flame out, giving Jason Tatum all that money.
They solidified their entire starting rotation has long-term deals. They're all in their 20s.
Yeah.
They made the conference championship and the finals the last 6 years, whichever one you want to place on the years. They won the finals. They're in their 20s, and they have their core signed to extensions for at least 3 years.
They have the potential, because even though they were loaded with that team for the last 3 years, until it happened this year. Finally, it was never Boston. Boston
Are you
can win
sure?
the championship.
Are you sure?
What?
Are you sure that was never that? Because we sat here at the beginning of the NBA season, or
I'm saying
in
that there were
January.
question marks. There were question marks, and it wasn't until this season,
Okay.
when we all saw with our eyes, and it's just they and it's not. And I know I said you don't have to win a championship to become a dynasty. So if I'm going by that rubric, I have to eat
You're
my
move.
words here.
You're
I have to
moving the
eat my words.
goalpost on your own. You're moving your own
No.
goalpost.
I'm the Patriots fan from 1961 who ran on the field and batted the pass down so we could win the game. No, I will say Boston for the intent and purpose of this conversation. Boston is a dynasty.
Okay.
They are.
So here's my follow up. That's my entire list. That's the entire assessment that I had for you. I have 3, 6, I have 10 teams and eras on my list, and every single one of them we said is a dynasty for all intents and purposes. Are we diluting, or is the term dynasty being diluted when it comes to sports because
I don't
we
know that
put
it
the
is
bar so low? We said every single team was a dynasty. Okay.
Yeah, but you only
I'll
named like less than 10. How many teams are there?
Right, but where is I'm saying, I'll caveat this by saying I did choose the eras and the teams that dominated the sport, their respective sports. But are we setting the bar too low?
I think we have
thing.
to figure out. I think we have to figure out. Okay, for how many years consistently does a team have to be good?
That's
like how many years? Because like I already don't believe you have to win championships to be a dynasty.
Sure.
But you have to. There has to be some, and maybe that's why I'm shy to say Boston's a dynasty. Maybe that's why I'm shy to call it that just yet.
They've been in the conference final for 4 of the last 6 years. Won one championship. And then you bring up the
maybe I'm shy because I just hate Boston.
Yeah, you might have some bias there, but then you bring up the time frame. I specifically brought up 2000 to 2002 Lakers when they did the three-peat. Is 3 years the mark that we're marking? Is there like, I don't know. I don't think there's like a single answer.
If you have a three-peat, then yeah, you're a dynasty
in 3 years. That's the thing.
You go back to back to back, you're a dynasty. So, like, I would. And
that's the discussion that we have to have.
What if it's this? Okay, what if you're solid, like the Patriots were solid for what, 17 years, 15 years, and there was a good decade that they didn't win a Super Bowl,
right?
But they were still considered a dynasty,
right?
Because they won one in the beginning, they won one at the end. It was the same core pieces, so you can consider that a dynasty. The Lakers from 2000 to 02, absolutely. You go, you win back to back to back. Of course you are.
Sure.
Georgia has been in the conversation for the last 3-4 years, and they've won 2 championships against Nick Saban.
Right.
So, they're obviously a dynasty. The Bills, you take the Bills, they won nothing for 4 years, but for 4 straight years, they were in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
They were in the Super Bowl for 4 straight years.
Still cracks me up to this day.
It's not like they were scrubs.
No.
So I think we have to come up with some, and on all the teams you've mentioned, you said we're diluting it. I don't think so. There's 32 teams in the NBA. There's 32 teams in the NFL. There's 30 teams in MLB. That's nearly 100 teams. We only talked about 10.
Right. 10 over the span of 30
years?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not, I don't think that's diluting it at all. There's 120 teams in college football. We only mentioned 3 in the last 30 years.
Right.
Well, last
So
20.
so here's the thing, and I hate this argument. It, time and time again, when you're looking at judging things in sports, because you can't quantify a single thing to really make a single argument, and that's for awards, MVPs. You can't say like the leading passer in the NFL is going to always be like that's not the case. But the thing that is always thrown around is passing the eye test, and I guess that is where we fall when it comes to defining a dynasty. Is does the team as it's constructed and its continued success, does it pass the eye test as far as success, longevity, championships, whatever you want to do? I guess in my eyes, it comes down to just passing the eye test, and that might not be like the prettiest conclusion that I can come up with, but that's the one that I got.
I mean, because like it's hard because I could sit here and make the argument, the case for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've had 3 head coaches in the last 40 years: Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin. And I don't remember a time when you looked at the Steelers and were like, they're not gonna do anything.
True. That is true.
I mean, they were always in the conversation, always in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just like a dynasty is a dynasty, but there's different layers to it.
Sure.
So I mentioned at the top of the conversation that dynasty is a team, an organization that does the right thing consistently over time. When it comes to picking head coaches and creating a culture, a winning culture, and being able to adapt, the Steelers do that better than anybody.
Sure.
And they haven't won a Super Bowl in what, 10 years?
I think so, since the Arizona Super Bowl.
That was 15 years ago.
I was in middle school, so I was going to say that's like 15 years ago.
That was 2008. I was in Germany. Like that was a long time ago.
That was a whole nother military branch ago.
Yeah, that look, Space Force, that wouldn't even exist yet. So it's one of those things that the Steelers haven't won a Super Bowl in 15 years. Yet no, yeah, was it 15 years? Yeah, no, didn't they win one with
10
Ben?
years. Well, that was
the
year.
one they won with Ben.
Yeah,
that was the one they won with Ben. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's so like I can sit there and make the case that the Steelers could be considered the dynasty for the last 40-something years.
And I guess here's the thing. I guess maybe the best way to look at dynasties is that it should be categorized as a pyramid of like tiers of dynasties. Like sure, like you had success 3-4 years of you just won. Sure, at the epitome of a dynasty, I would put the Patriots, the Steelers, and
Alabama,
Bama, and even maybe the Celtics as its entirety, because they haven't really had how do you categorize the Steelers? So they haven't had the scrub franchise name attached to them.
That's actually a really good way to put it. Yeah, I like that illustration that you throw out there with the triangle or a pyramid, and you sit there and you're like, well, here's the different layers of it, and at the pinnacle is longevity, organizational success, championships. Like you could put that at the very top, and then that could be, just a whole the whole picture of consistency is there. So
let's wrap up this segment. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, finish. Go ahead, because I think you're leading. I think you're headed to where I was going to say.
I was going to say let's wrap up this segment and spitball, since we don't have this written down or pre-planned this. Spitball the top tier of dynasties, because there's not much room at the top. So who's at the top of your dynasty tiers? I would go, like I already listed them off. I would say the Lakers, the Boston Celtics, the Patriots.
Which Celtics? So the current Celtics, or the ones with
before this I guess up until now they're still in my own viewing a dynasty because we always
Okay.
expect them to do really well. So
That's
Boston
true. Yeah.
Celtics, the Lakers, um, the Patriots, and I wanted to leave room for a fourth. I guess maybe the Steelers because of the stability factor, but I could easily get them out of there.
I think you can. Okay, I could see that because Boston, the Celtics and the Lakers are the cream of the crop in the NBA every single year.
Yeah,
Every single year, we just expect them to do it, and it's not like Boston hadn't tried. You know, they had the geriatric teams with Kevin Garnett, so I mean, they're always in the discussion. The Lakers are
right,
always in the discussion.
right.
Because even up until 2015, when Kobe retired, Kobe was still there, and you still talked about the Lakers as if they were still current.
Okay. So if I
You
had
talk
to
about the
leave,
Steelers.
so if I had to leave
I
room for maybe four, for sure three, who would it be for you? Top tier dynasty.
the top tier,
The top of your tier of
the
dynasties. Yeah.
the Brady Belichick Patriots,
Okay.
the 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 Saban Alabama teams,
Okay.
and
I forgot about Bama on my list.
shoot, who would be in the 90s and 2000s Yankees?
Okay.
Those would be those would be it right there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's hard to argue with your list. I don't know that you have too many gripes when it comes to my list either, but yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just hard to solidify and
And that's if you set the arbitrary number at 3. Like if you only had to pick 3, that's
well, I said
who I'm going with.
three or four.
Yeah.
If you had to rank them, because you can't put everybody on
I
tier
like
one, because then it
3.
would lose its
No.
significance.
Well, the 2016 Chicago Cubs are the greatest dynasty of all time. But I'm just kidding. They're a great dynasty when it comes to sucking. Sucking balls. I would say the 90s 2000s Yankees, because even until 09 when they won their last World Series with A-Rod,
Yeah.
like you made the case every year, oh, the Yankees are in this. They're always in it. So
Yeah.
from 98 to 09, the Yankees were there.
Yep.
And then you had the 15 almost 2-decade period of Belichick and Brady with
Yep.
the Patriots. Of course, they're there. And then you had the 67-year Saban was head coach at Alabama. Yeah, so I'm assuming he was there that long. It felt that long.
It did.
As an LSU fan, it felt like an eternity. So,
all right, that's I think we're on a good pace, and maybe one day people will come to us and ask. They'll come to us and ask us, "Hey, is this a dynasty?" And we'll be like, "Well, according to our equation and our tier system, no, it is not a dynasty."
I think a fun exercise would be next time that our next pod we discuss who we think the next dynasties are going to be.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think that would be a fun discussion.
Sure.
We can, yeah.
Tune in to discuss. But we talked about tier one, and we talked about the tier system for dynasties. But there's always the lightning in the bottle moments, right? Where like a good team, just an average team, kills it, wins a championship, like your Cubs in 16 when they finally got over the hump and broke the 100-year streak. Let's talk about single one moment greatness, and in preparation for the Olympics that are kicking off, let's talk about the 1992 Dream Team.
Yes, let's talk about it.
And let's compare them to see who the hell could beat them.
And like I'll say this: let's put the 92 Dream Team, and let's give an edge to today's players. Let's have the 92 Dream Team play with today's NBA rules. Okay.
Okay. That is
So
that was one of my things because
yeah,
the physicality behind basketball was way different in the 90s than it is today.
because if today's stars, if today's top 12 players played in 90s rules, they would all be dead. They would all
Yes.
forfeit by the end of the first quarter. And then, but if we play by today's rules, the dream team only wins by 5. So
Wow.
let's well, they're older now. So
Fair.
let's let's give today's players like some hope, just a
Yes.
little bit of hope.
Yes.
Um,
Give them a chance, a fighting chance. Well, let's go.
yeah.
Let me run over. Let's go through the list
hmm
and we'll compare a little bit.
Well,
We had
I think we
quick.
should. Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say
No,
I
I was
think we
gonna
should
let
pick our starting 5 for each.
our starting 5.
hmm
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Who
who
do you
was the
want?
starting 5
Do
for the
you
night?
want today's?
Yeah, I'll take today's.
Okay. Well, I'll take the '92 Dream Team. Okay.
Okay.
So, let's see. Who was that guy? He wore number 23. Michael
Mm,
Jordan.
yeah.
And then we'll do Jordan. Um, let me look at this. Hold on. Let me look at this.
Do you want the list real
I don't
quick?
want to. I don't want to miss anybody. Hold on.
I'll go over the.
I'm getting it
Oh,
right now. I'm getting.
okay.
Okay, I have it right here. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's do this. So for my starting 5, I will put and I have reasons behind this. I've been
Okay.
talking about this behind the scenes with another listener. I'll do Michael. I'll do Magic.
Sure.
I'll do Bird, Drexler, and Stockton.
Stockton
Stockton, yeah.
as your 5th?
hmm So, and the reason why, okay, because we're playing by today's rules, okay, I will keep Barkley, Ewing, and Malone on the bench, and I will bring them in only when I need to punish a player, when
That's
I need a
fair.
foul.
That's fair.
When I need a
But you don't have a
foul,
big. You don't have a dominant big. You still need that. There's still if anything, today's NBA is transitioning to a big sport.
did I not put?
You didn't put a center in there at all.
Oh, okay.
So
I
you have
I
David
thought I put David
Robinson and
Robinson in
Ewing.
there. Okay, no,
Did
okay.
you?
So it's
No, you didn't.
I thought I said David Robinson. Okay, so
No,
I
you
got
put
Michael.
Bird, Jordan, Drexler,
Mhm.
Stockton, and Magic.
Oh no! Take Drexler out. Put the Admiral in. Okay, so I got Jordan. I got Bird. I got Magic, the Admiral, and Stockton.
Okay, so you'd put Ewing in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, Robinson, the Admiral.
Oh, sorry.
Patrick Ewing's not the Admiral. How dare you?
I would call him whatever he wants me to call him. He'd kick my ass any day. I've never actually heard him called the Admiral. I just always heard him call Ewing. So that's my young heart not knowing their nicknames back in the day. Okay, so I made a list of the entire rosters and I matched up the players that I thought would be the best against those players. So I'll just go off of who you picked and I'll pick my matchups for those guys. For Robinson, I put Jokic on him as a center.
Okay.
For Jordan, I would put Booker on him. He could match up. He could match up with his shooting style, and Booker can play some defense. He was one of the top rated defenders
He
at
matched
his
up with his
position.
quickness really well.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And then
Okay.
you chose Stockton as your point guard, so I'd put Curry as the point. Him and Booker match up as the guards, and then I skipped one. Oh, Bird. You put Bird on there. I would put Tatum on Bird.
Okay.
Yes.
Ooh,
Yes.
on Boston action. There you go.
Yes. Yeah, I knew you'd like that. And then the last one, you put Magic. Um, you put Magic as your point guard. I have three guards, I guess, but I'm still rolling with it. I would put SGA, Shai Gil
Ooh,
Alexander on Magic. Yes.
you gonna
Magic
put
was
Lil Shay Shay on Magic?
yes. Magic was a tall point
Mhm.
guard for his position.
He was.
He was
He was.
six
Yeah.
seven, 6'9", and I looked through the
hmm
list of point guards that could match up to him really well. Point guards nowadays
Yeah.
are average like 6'2", 6'3".
Mhm.
There was a lot of names that I wanted to put on there, but just because of the
Mhm.
height difference, I put
Yeah.
Shea on to match
Yeah.
Magic Johnson. Thoughts?
I would say my greatest weakness I could exploit from your top 5 is Stockton running circles on Curry.
What do you mean?
Because, and this is why, I think Curry thinks the basketball court ends at the 3-point line. I don't know if Curry understands that you could go into the paint and there's a thing called a layup. I don't know if Curry understands
How
that.
dare you? He's the,
And
the man of
and
the ball in the lane. How dare you
and
disrespect him?
but honestly, John Stockton was magical.
Sure.
John Stockton could shoot, he could pass, he could pick. Like this dude, like he did everything. He could do everything. And so I would say that if I'm out there, like he would be my Drew Holiday of this game. Like he would be the guy who's just like, well, whoa, what happened? Oh, Stockton stole it. And
But
he
you also
just
have Jokic in the paint. So my thing is, if that's your argument, maybe there'd be a little bit of a rotation. And I was hoping you picked Ewing for one of your starters instead of Robinson because uh, I matching up with Ewing, I had Rudy Gobert as the starting center.
okay. Oh, anytime
So
I can get Rudy Gobert on the court, yeah, I'll put Ewing on there. That's fine. If that's what it takes to get Gobert on the court,
no,
absolutely. Yeah.
no.
Why are you making this easier?
Why are you
Why are you making
disrespecting
this easier?
Gobert? Why are you respecting the 4-time Defensive Player of the Year? Come on.
Because he's
And
one-dimensional.
he's a three.
So,
What? Whoa. One dimensional?
whoa, yes. We see Gobert play. He's a phenomenal defender.
Oh
But when it
yeah.
comes to the offensive side of the ball, he disappears. He's
That's
gone.
why I don't expect my centers. I have Booker and Curry out there for a reason. I don't expect my center to put up 25.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if I put Ewing out there, 25. I put Robinson out there, 25. Like, I
Uh,
could put I'm just if you're gonna afford me the opportunity to have a net rating on the court, and that's gonna take me putting Ewing in, so you put Gobert in, okay. I'll take that. I'll take that any
sure.
day.
I
I'm
don't
trying
think.
to.
I think. I don't think you're giving
I
him
asked
enough
you to
credit.
put. I'm not taking anything away from him other than what we've all seen with our own eyeballs.
He doesn't
Like
have a
I'm
bad
just,
offense. He's
I'm
not
saying
a.
he
Look, he's not a scrub in
disappears.
offense.
He is not consistent on
Okay,
O. He's
your
not.
consistent.
He's not.
Your consistency argument comes from a 82 game season. If we're talking about the dream team, it is what 8 games. I would trust Gobert to hold it down for 8 games and still put up points.
Yeah, you can do that. But if you're gonna match him up against Ewing, well, yeah, I'll take that all day long.
I don't.
If you want me, it you are looking at this as like a new school fan. You're looking at this as he's really great at that one thing. I
No,
have
I'm not.
12 dudes. I have
You
12 dudes who will run circles around you on any aspect of the ball.
number
I
one.
said
You
the
said
92 Dream Team could win
today's.
by 5. You
You
are letting them win by 10 now.
you said today's rules. Today's rules encompasses a lot of perimeter shooting. Ewing was not known for any kind of mid range or long or 3-point shooting. Gobert has
Okay.
that. He has that ability. So we're playing
He
by
has that
today's rule.
ability, but it's not consistent. And if I need perimeter shooting, I got shooters. I got Larry. I got Jordan. I got Stockton. I got perimeter shooters all day long.
Those
Hell,
are
I
all
could put the Admiral on a perimeter. He could shoot a 3 like nobody's business. Like,
not against Jokic. He's not.
Oh my goodness.
Here, let me go through my entire list, and then you can tell me where you think I missed. Okay. Okay. We'll just do that. We'll do this exercise. I put Antetokounmpo, Jokic, Gobert, Tatum, Kawhi, matching up against Pippen, Booker, Anthony Edwards, matching up against your original pick of Drexler, LeBron James, Curry, Luka, Anthony Davis, and SGA.
My only argument there is that you're not allow the father and bastard son play basketball together. Why are you not putting Edwards on Jordan? Why are we taking away the heartwarming story, bringing in all the women to watch this game? Like, oh, father and son.
So I looked at that matchup. I looked at that. But here's my thing. Edwards has as far as I'm concerned, has no perimeter defense at all.
He doesn't.
So that's why I didn't put him there.
I honestly, I like your pick of putting Devin on MJ. If there was anybody from today's game, that would make it interesting. That would make it interesting against a 60-year-old Michael Jordan. It would be Devin Booker. Okay. Interesting is the most
the generous word to use.
Yeah, it's like it's the most like sketchy I can put it. Like, it's getting a little scary. Ooh, maybe, but 60-year-old MJ still dominates. I can, and then anytime I need a bruiser, I'm like, all right, come in, Larry, come in, Michael, come in, Magic. I'm gonna put in, I'll put in Malone. I would love to see Karl Malone bust up some dudes in here.
Malone is matching up against LeBron. You forget. We're not leaving in Malone with somebody else. If Malone is in, LeBron is in.
Yeah. And then Barkley. Who do you have against Barkley again?
Anthony Davis.
Okay, well, Anthony Davis, he'll be hurt.
Come on. JB, you have to get. I matched them up really. I feel like I matched them up really well.
I love the matchups you put here. I do, and primarily because I think it'd be a lot of fun to see Karl Malone on LeBron James. I
think so.
That would be so much fun, and then flopping wouldn't be a problem because all these guys' hips have kind of gone out already, so they would just fall down as it is. And
here's the thing: you never told me as they are today. You didn't say 60-year-old Jordan. You said the 92 team against today's players.
Look, I'm trying to give today's players a chance. Okay, I'm trying to give them a chance. Trying to give these guys a chance. All right. We even talked about it. We even said, "Oh, too easy. It's not close." Those were your words.
True.
And I took your words through the frame of mind I had of putting these 60-year-old men up against these guys. Because that would be so much fun. That should be the All-Star festivities. Bring back the 92 Dream Team as they are now and have them play against the All-Stars.
That would be hilarious. Here's the one thing that we didn't go over. And, oh, by the way, before we move on to what I was about to ask you, I had an honorable mention. Out of the 12-man roster, I had a guy that snuck onto the flight because I feel like he's just deserving of it. My honorable mention was John Morant.
Ooh. He's probably in court that day. I think he missed the plane.
So that was my 13th. I wanted to fit him in somewhere, but I couldn't find where to put him, so I just put him down as an honorable mention. But the thing we didn't discuss is who's coaching the team. We know who's coaching the 92 team.
Yeah, who's coaching your team?
I'm stuck.
I honestly know who should. I know who should.
Okay, go ahead.
If you have one game to face the 92 Dream Team, The coach that should be coaching that is
Popovich?
Popovich should be coaching that team.
Interesting. Against Phil Jackson?
Yes.
So here's my thing. Popovich is a good one. I forgot about him because I'm trying to find the
JJ Redick.
best the best coach that can bring out the best of what he has, because I feel like with these rosters it would end up being a lot of one-on-one and a lot of iso ball and beat your player and score. I was stuck.
Okay, hold on. Before you say, okay, so you were stuck between two people?
Sure, yes.
Okay. Let me see if I can guess this. Okay. Was Joe Mazzulla one of them?
No. Keep in mind, for the Olympics, you don't have to go with an NBA coach.
No, you don't. You don't have to. Was Jason Kidd one of them? No? Okay.
I feel like you're just mocking me now.
I'm not mocking you. Why would I mock you? You would know when I'm mocking you. I lay it on pretty thick. All right. Who are your two? Because I'm way off.
I was stuck between Steve Kerr, one. First off, experience with the Chicago team. Number two, here's a good one. Coach K.
Okay.
And I'm leaning more towards Coach K.
Coach K should do because he's coached the Olympic team before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he also, I
like Coach K.
He was a solid coach. He knew how to bring out the best in his players, especially when it came to fitting an offense to what they did best. And you can thank him for your all-star player that you guys have down in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm. I can. Yes, I can.
So, final thoughts. Who would win that game?
What's the final score? The 92 Dream Team would. They would win it. They would win it all day.
And by how much?
Okay. You got Devin on MJ. Give me your matchups again.
Jokic on Robinson.
Okay, you got Jokic on Robinson. You got Booker on MJ. You got Curry on Stockton.
Yep.
Who Tatum do you have on Bird. Larry? Tatum on Bird. That's
Tatum.
it. And then
Shea on Magic.
Shea on Magic. That's a very creative starting five. You know what? I'm gonna give you flowers on that one. That's a very creative starting five.
Thank you. Thank you.
You have given them just enough hope to be crushed at the end, and they lose. They lose 114 to 109.
114. Okay.
The 92
possession game.
92 Dream Team wins 114 to 109. Like I said, look,
that's fair.
It'll be interesting. Okay, and it's only by 5 because they're older. Okay.
JB, all jokes aside, prime 92 team versus prime or the current players now. They still win by only 5?
Oh, prime? Oh, I don't even know why today's players even on the court. Why are you showing up? Why are you even showing up? What are we doing here? Like who wants to be embarrassed? What? Okay,
yeah.
Okay, then it's 228 to 109. Like I don't
Dang. Wow.
It's not even a contest. It's not even a contest. Oh man. They just want to embarrass themselves.
You're crazy. I put in so much work onto my roster. You're crazy for making it a freaking triple-digit difference.
It's only win by 118. I don't know what the problem is.
What's the issue here?
They only win by 119 points. Like what?
All right, we're wrapping up that segment. It is time. We're gonna quick fire what we've seen in baseball. You ready? We're gonna spend 5 minutes on it because we're about to get into the heat of our baseball. You ready? JB, give it to me.
So Aaron Judge is so hot right now, and the Yankees are not.
He's
Aaron
he's so
Judge
hot. I would date him.
he is outpacing his 60 homer season. He is outpacing it by a lot. He is, if the season ended today, he's the Triple Crown winner. He's batting
Mm-hmm.
318. He's got
Mm-hmm.
82 RBIs.
Mm-hmm.
It's July 3rd. This
Mm-hmm.
dude could have 100 RBIs by the All-Star break. That's ridiculous. I believe the record is 194 by Hack Wilson in 1934 or something like that.
Jesus
Aaron
Christ.
Judge has every ability to win, to crack that. He's got every single shot to do it. He's got 31
Yep.
homers. And it's crazy, but the Yankees are 3-7. That is not good at all.
The last 10?
Not
Yeah,
good.
not good. Not very good.
Not good.
The good thing is that they got a nice little June hot streak and May-June hot streak going so they can afford a little slide.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're
Yeah.
not looking good
Yeah.
right now.
To keep it with the Yankees. So Harper and Judge, the first two players ever in the AL and NL to win consecutive players of the month,
Right?
May and June, which is just awesome. And it sucks that Harper's hurt right now, but he should be back next week. And then the Reds are in the Bronx this weekend. And to give a shout out to Ellie De La Cruz, who is just lighting the world on fire. This dude is so much fun to watch.
He is projected to win. He's projected to get 80 steals in that his trajectory is pointing towards 80 stolen bases.
If we ever wish to see Ricky Henderson again, we have him. He's here. We have Ricky again. We have Ellie being Ellie. That's what it is.
If only he was on our better team.
And then to speak about Ellie De La Cruz, another rookie that is who has arrived, Paul Skeens.
Yes.
Paul Skeens is phenomenal, dude. Oh, go Paul. Geaux, Paul. Go Paul. He is lighting up the world right now.
Killing
that dude is so much fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So much fun. Oh my goodness.
What did he get?
He's like peak.
What's the stat that I just saw? He struck out 60 batters before allowing 12 home runs, which is the first time that's ever happened in
He's
Major League.
He's struck out 70 people
70
before allowing, I think, 12 earned runs.
Yeah.
Like, that is phenomenal. And for those who don't follow baseball too closely, to have 70 strikeouts means you have a really high pitch count. So you have a pitch count where players on the on-deck circle, in the hole, in the dugout, they are watching this pitch sequence. And he is learning on the fly as to what pitch sequence to go with what team he's playing. And they are seeing tons of pitches, and he's still not giving up anything. He's so good. I brought it up a few pods ago. The Cardinal fans gave him a standing ovation when he left the game. That's how crazy this dude is. He is electric.
Yes.
He is fun to watch, man. And if Pittsburgh could just go get a bat, I mean, look, the Cubs, they're done. This is an embarrassment. Just sell the team. Just sell the pieces. Sell them. Start over. I'm tired of watching this. I want Pittsburgh to make a run. I want the Pirates to make a run. I want to see, and now there's calls for Paul Skeens to start the All-Star game.
Heck yeah, they're voting on it today.
That's flipping nuts.
Hell yeah.
I would love to see that. And honestly, there is no argument against him even not starting it. There's every argument for him to start it.
Let me pause you. On his statement, just for people that don't follow baseball, if a pitcher gets 10 strikeouts in a game, that is a really good starting outing, right? He's done that at that point. He's done that in 7 straight games. No, pitchers don't get 10 strikeouts regularly. Imagine doing it 7 games in a row. That is not something that you regularly see. This is, I'm not saying he's generational, but he's hinting at something really good for the Pirates.
He's on the way.
Yeah.
He's on the way. And need I remind baseball fans and people who don't follow baseball, not only Paul Skeens, they have Jarrett Jones, who isn't a scrub whatsoever. You have Mitch Keller, who is the veteran on that squad at 28 years old. And then they have Bailey Falter. Bailey Falter's he's a good number 4. He's one of the better number 4s in all of baseball. Pittsburgh has a starting rotation. They got a rotation for days now. They need to go get somebody. They need a thumper. They need to go call Toronto and see what they need to do to get Vlad. They need to bring Vladito to Pittsburgh, put that thumper in the middle of the lineup, and watch Pittsburgh soar. It's time Pittsburgh was back in the playoff picture.
Heck yeah.
And then another rookie who's just lighting the world on fire, Wyatt Langford, who had an incredible June and then ended June on Sunday with the cycle.
Hell yeah.
I mean, waiting for the cycle is awesome. I love it. I love seeing it. I love being able to witness it. I'm telling you, the young players of today, they are something special. It's not like the 90s and 2000s when they're like, "Oh, I want to raid your prospect cupboard," and then nothing happens. Mm-hmm. Now, like, we scout players like nobody's business. Mm-hmm. And Wyatt Langford is tearing it up. And a bit of sad news, the Astros are back. So let's take a moment of silence for the fact that we have to root for the Astros again.
Houston, we do have a problem.
Houston, we have a problem because you're good again. So they are 3 games back of Seattle in the AL West. Seattle has fallen apart. I don't know what's going on there, but Astros are 3 games back behind there. And then I said already the Cubs, but also the Blue Jays. Blue Jays and Cubs, they just need to sell. They are not built to sell, but they need to sell. They need to get who they can. Just call the season a wash. I'm done watching this team. I'm done with it. Just sell. Let's move on to next year. Let's don't promote any more prospects. Let's let them season in AA and AAA, and let's see what we can do the rest of the way, because both of these teams are just they're done.
Toast.
They're done.
They're toast. That is your MLB current status in 5 minutes. Now, ready to jump into our favorite segments, JB? Are you ready for your Mount Rushmore? Let me pull up the wheel.
Oh, I'm ready for Mount Rushmore. I'm ready.
Let me pull up your wheel. You're going first. You ready?
Yes.
JB, give me your number.
My number is 10.
You are graciously granted the rights to the Cleveland Browns.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. The Cleveland Browns. Okay. For all you newbies out there, okay, I'm gonna shout out some names here that you've probably never heard of before.
Really deep into that bag.
First off, we're gonna go Amari Cooper. No, of course not. We are going to go. My first pick for the Browns Mount Rushmore is the greatest quarterback in Browns history, Mr. Otto Graham. 10 straight championship showings for the Browns when he was a quarterback. The single-handed greatest quarterback in Browns history. No one, you can make the case for Bernie Kosar, maybe. But Otto Graham, one of the greats to ever play. And he played for Cleveland way back in the day before the Air Force was even a thing. So we will go with Otto Graham as my number 1. Number 2 is a little old running back named Jimothy Brown. Jim Brown, that dude would run you over. And he ran you over before like TV was like a real thing. And so you were lucky because you would only be embarrassed by the people who actually went to the game. So your family, your girlfriend, your wife, they never really got embarrassed because They only knew you got run over by Jim Brown if you decided to stupidly disclose that information to them. Jim Brown was one of the greats. No one, I
Yes.
mean, in his heyday, that dude could carry the rock. I mean, and it was devastating to you if he came at you. So I would go with Jim Brown. Number 3, the Wizard of Oz himself, Ozzie Newsome.
Oh,
Most of you young kids know Ozzie Newsome because he constructed some of the great Ravens teams of today. But Ozzie Newsome was probably, if not the greatest tight end of all time. This dude played for the Browns in a time where it was anytime they needed a first down, anytime they needed a play, Ozzie Newsome was the guy. And number 4, a guy that played with Ozzie Newsome on these teams, Clay Matthews Jr. Clay Matthews Jr. was one of the most devastating linebackers to ever play this game. That dude would put a hurting on you. He would make you cry just by looking at you because you knew you were probably 50-50 about to die because he was coming for you. So those are my 4. Otto Graham, Jim Brown, Ozzie Newsome, Clay Matthews.
Clay Matthews.
Clay Matthews Jr., yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure nobody gets confused with the recently retired Clay Matthews.
I said old. I said old Browns, okay? Old ones.
That's fair. Oh, oops. I started spinning the wheel too early. Let me restart that. Let me restart the wheel for me.
Do you have any gripes?
No gripes.
Okay.
No gripes at all. The Cleveland Browns it's hard for me to gauge the Cleveland Browns because they haven't been good in about my entire lifetime.
My most recent person that I could consider put on there is their left tackle, Joe Thomas.
Oh yeah.
No, Joe Thomas.
Sure.
Joe Thomas absolutely could be on there, but I wanted to pay homage to what I thought was just generationally like great Browns teams. So
that's fair. Yeah. I was thinking that maybe you were going to throw Nick Chubb in there, but I think that's more the way I approach things, not the way that JB approaches things. So kudos to you, JB.
Okay.
Okay.
Now you
Ready?
go. Your turn.
My turn. Ready? Let me spin this wheel. JB, my number is number 11.
Number 11. Sir?
Yes.
You have the Washington Redskins.
My least favorite team. No, just kidding. But I will allow the Redskins this time. I'm usually the guy that sits here and calls you out on the Redskins compared to Commanders name change. But there's not a single Commanders official player that deserves the Mount Rushmore. So I will allow the Redskins in the name of history.
Even if you didn't allow.
So, number 1, I will go with Sammy Baugh. He was the quarterback / defense player, and let me look up his stats real quick. He played 165 games with 1,600 passes completed, 187 touchdowns, but he also threw for 31 he also caught 31 interceptions in his career. So for the people that aren't tracking, he's from the 30s, in the days where, playing both sides of the ball was a bigger thing than it is now. Getting 31 picks as a dual player, pretty impressive. So he'd be my number 1.
If I'm not mistaken, he was also a punter.
Yes. He was
I
a
think he was
punter.
a
I
punter too.
forgot about that. Yes, he was a punter.
He played all three phases of the ball.
Hell yeah. Talk about a man that doesn't want to miss out on anything. Yes, he did play a punter. I forgot about that. My number 2 is Darrell Green, which statistically
Ooh,
speaking had
yeah.
the one of the, if not the greatest postseason runs in history as far as stats go for that team. He also was part of the 2 championships that the Redskins won. What years were their championships? I'm forgetting what years they won their championships, but he was part of those 2 championships. And
It's in the 80s.
yeah, I know it was in the 80s because it wasn't since I was born, but I was trying to look at the specific years. He self-proclaimed to have ran the fastest 40-yard dash in NFL history. He claims that he ran a 4.09 40-yard dash, which
Question Darrell Green. Punch me in the face.
yeah, so during that time they didn't have the technology that we did now to really make it official, but he claims he ran a 409 40-yard dash, so that takes my boy C2K off the pyramid of greatest running 40-yard dash sprinters. Number 3, I'll go with John Riggins, running back.
Mm.
Is that a of complaint, or is that a or of acknowledgement?
No, that's a of acknowledgement. Good for you.
Perfect.
For
That's what
knowing
I
these
wanted.
names.
I
Good for
lived
you.
I lived to gain acknowledgement from JB.
You picked Tim and Billy Riggins' father? That's awesome.
And my last one, number 4, I always leave my controversial pick for the 4th one. My 4th,
Kirk Cousins.
yes. RG3.
No.
No, it's not. No, you're okay. We're okay. Safe path so far. No, my number 4 is Sean Taylor.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll give you that one.
His career was cut short, but there is a reason. Up until this day, the NFL acknowledges Sean Taylor in an unofficial way. It's a Sean Taylor Day. He was a dominant figure in his position that probably would have been the best. I think his official position was a corner, if I'm not. No, he was a safety officially, but he was just a dominant defensive player. And if anybody follows football, the one key play that you should have, if you have not seen, you should go look up. The one dominant play of Sean Taylor's career is surprisingly at the Pro Bowl game where the punter decided that he was going to do a sneak, a punter sneak and run for it, and Sean Taylor came down from his spot and completely destroyed him. For those of you that don't know, the game nowadays, they don't freaking try in the what do they call it now? The pro games, the pro challenge, whatever they call it. But they don't try during those games.
No.
And Sean Taylor was the one guy that was set to make that a game that he was gonna pretty much play how he played, regardless of what game he was in.
Yeah.
He completely demolished him, and he was playing with the intensity that nobody to this day can play, even in that kind of game.
Yeah.
So those are my 4GB. What are your gripes?
I don't have any gripes really. I think you could have made a case for Joe Gibbs. You talked about those great '80s Redskins teams that he took them to 3 titles during that time, and then made the case for Art Monk.
Yes,
one of the greatest receivers, probably. I mean, in terms of just running routes. I mean, no one.
Yeah.
I mean, no one did it nearly as well as Art Monk did. So, but I could see
he
thought not putting Monk up there because he played for the Jets too.
Yeah, he played for multiple teams. He did.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
owned the record. He owned the record for the single season record for the most receptions in a season.
Mhm.
Which in his own way, he owned it for as long. I think Calvin Johnson was the official one that replaced him, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not remembering my history correctly, but I think he owned
Yeah.
the receiving record for a while. But yeah, I considered
Yeah.
him. I think he was the
Yeah.
one that had to fall off for me to pay respects to Sean Taylor. That was my thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you could have made the case for the guy who played quarterback after Sammy Baugh, Sonny Jurgensen. He could have been up there too.
Okay.
So, but I thought that was a great list. That was probably my most favorite list
From
of
me.
all the people of all the teams that you have picked for. That's my favorite because
That's
not once did you say, "Oh, it's a running back because he ran for 2,000 yards one time." So,
hey, do not disrespect C2K. Do not sit there and do that to me.
all
At
right.
least
So
he
let's
played for
get
the teams.
into. Hey, that was one player when we
Roman
first started
Gabriel
this.
is still
Hey, Roman Gabriel's on everyone's honorable mention, Mount Rushmore. Okay.
if you want him to play for your team, he will honorably play for your team.
He will. Yep. All right, let's do a real quick schedule breakdown.
Yes. Are you ready? I got you right here,
I
JB.
am ready. I'm ready.
Okay. Starting off,
I'm ready.
week 1, the Browns will be playing the Cowboys, hosting the Cowboys.
Okay. That's a win for Dallas. So
Okay.
L.
Week 2, they go to Jacksonville.
L.
Okay. Week 3, they host the Giants.
W.
Week 4, they go to the Raiders.
Ooh, at Vegas. L.
Week 5, they go to Washington to play the Commanders.
Oh, okay. Okay, snuck Commanders in there. They will win that game.
Week 6, they go to Philly to play the Eagles.
L.
Week 7, hosting the Bengals.
L.
Week 8, hosting the Baltimore Ravens.
L.
Damn, you're not giving any kind of love to them. And you talk crap to me about the Raiders. Moving on. Week 9, they will host the Chargers.
W.
They have a bye in week 10, and then week 11, they go to your favorite place, New Orleans.
Oh, L.
Week 12, they host the Steelers.
W.
The forever franchise, the forever dynasty, I should say. Week 13, they go to Denver to play the Broncos.
W.
Week 14, they will go to the Steelers.
L.
Week 15, they host the Chiefs.
L.
Week 16, they go to Cincinnati and play the Bengals.
W.
Against the Bengals, the Browns. You remember you're doing the Browns schedule, right?
Yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Okay. All right. Okay. Week 17, they host the Dolphins.
Yeah. W.
And finally, week 18, they go to Baltimore to play the Ravens.
L. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7 and 10. Yep.
Yeah.
That's progress if I've ever seen it for a Cleveland Browns franchise. I'm just saying what I said. I think that's what they finished with last year, honestly. Or pretty close to that.
Yeah, it's hard. Like I believe who the head coach is, Kevin Stefanski. I believe in him. It's just I don't know what type of team that is with Deshaun Watson. I just don't know. There was so much hype around Deshaun just because he wasn't around, and they traded everything to go get him.
Yep.
They mortgaged the entire future for him, and I honestly don't know what they really have around him. So I mean, they're honestly a wild card team, not a wild card for the playoffs. They're just a wild card.
Yeah.
So I honestly don't know what they're going to do.
7 and 10's not bad. They might sneak. Well, in that division, I don't know if they'll sneak into the
In
playoffs
that
at
division,
7
no.
and 10. No.
The Browns, I see the Browns finishing in last place in that division.
That's not hard to see. That's
Yeah.
very, very plausible. Yeah.
Okay. Let's do the Washington football team. Okay. Week 1 at Tampa.
Loss.
Okay. You believe in Baker.
I
Okay.
do believe in Baker. I believe in Baker in that location with that offense.
Week 2, host the G-Men.
The G-Men don't know what they're doing. I'll give the Browns the win. No bias. No bias.
The Browns aren't playing them. The Browns aren't playing the Giants week 2. The Redskins are.
What did you just say? Oh, I'm still stuck on yours. Yes. No, either way.
Okay.
Both
teams will beat them week 2. Okay. All right.
They'll just call it a
week
wash.
3.
They'll put it to a draw.
Week 3, Monday night at Cincinnati.
That's a loss.
Okay. Week 4 at Arizona.
A loss.
Okay, good pick. Yeah, that's what I have.
Week 5 already. We're at 1 and 3 right now. Let me just say I don't have too much of high hopes for the Commanders right now, so I don't want you sitting here judging me once we come out of the schedule release. All right, just throwing that out there.
Dan Quinn and Adam Peters don't have high hopes for.
I am.
Okay.
I said what I said.
So, I think they agree with you. Week 5, they host the Browns.
Ooh. What did you pick? I feel like you picked the Browns to win.
I picked the Browns to win. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I agree with that.
Okay. Week 6 at Baltimore.
A loss.
Okay. Week 7, host the Panthers.
A win. Not because the Commanders figured anything out.
Week 8, they host the Bears.
Ooh. A battle of the two rookies.
The battle of number 1 and number 2.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Ooh, I'm stumped. I'm gonna lean with the Bears.
Ooh, wrong answer. Okay.
It's my
week
schedule.
9, they are at the Giants.
They'll beat the Giants.
They're going to sweep the Giants. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Week 10, host Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh wins.
Okay. Week 11, Thursday night at the Eagles.
Oh, no way. They lose to the Eagles.
Okay.
If it's after
week
12, I would say the Eagles might lose, but not this time.
Week 12. Now, this is tricky. They host the Cowboys.
Interesting.
I know Dallas is undefeated, so I don't know why you think so long.
A loss for the Washington Commanders.
Oh, wow. Surprise. Week 13, they host the formerly known Oilers,
The Texans?
the Titans.
Oh, the Titans. Ooh. They might figure something out and sneak a win against the Titans. I know that's your Super Bowl sneak pick.
It is not, but I think they'll do better than you think. Week 14, they have a bye. Week 15, they are at New Orleans.
Ooh. JB, what would you like me to say about this team?
I want you to say the truth.
Yeah,
Okay?
they'll lose to New Orleans. That's the truth.
Look at you. That was the truth. Look at that. All right. Week 16, they host Philly.
They might sneak a win against Philly. Philly at the tail end, I don't have hopes for.
Well, not in recent memory, yeah.
Yeah.
Week
exactly.
17, Saturday game, they host Atlanta.
Ooh. Beat
Is
Atlanta.
Kirk Cousins still going to be alive? Okay.
He might have torn his Achilles again.
Week 18, they end at Dallas.
I'll give the Commanders the win because whether it's for good or for bad, I don't think the Cowboys will have anything to be playing for.
You gave the Skins 8 and 9.
I have 7 and 10. We must have missed tracks.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, I must have marked one of mine wrong.
You have them on a 3-game win streak at the end of the season.
I do. The Eagles, the Falcons, and the Cowboys. That is correct.
Yeah.
Finishing the season off strong. Not bad.
Those are, I mean, that's an upshot if you're a Washington fan to finish 8 and 9.
That is better than you've seen in a long time. I'll tell you that.
Especially with a rookie quarterback. I mean, he is electrifying. I mean,
he is.
Go to LSU.
I'm not too.
Yeah.
I reserve the right to take away 1 or 2 losses from them, but as of right now, sure, I'll give them that record.
Well, let's kick off and end with our fix of 6. Manny, you kick us off.
Let's get things started. Manny's number 3 fix of 6. Caitlin Clark was left off of the women's U.S. basketball team, but she was selected for the All-Star team, and guess what? She gets to play against the women's basketball team for the Olympics. Apparently, that's how they're rolling this year. Maybe I'm just not tracking the fact that they do this regularly, but Caitlin Clark gets to go up against the people that they said are better than her in preparation for the Olympics. Caitlin Clark, I hope you kill it. I am cheering for you. Number 2, let me find my number 2 pick. Mikal Bridges, Michael, for y'all that like to mispronounce names, Mikal Bridges was traded to the Knicks, reuniting the UConn team. But that's not what I want to get into. What I want to get into is the fact that he has played 474 straight games. And who better to break that than the Knicks coach that likes beating his players into the ground? I expect that streak to come to a screeching halt by the time October rolls around. And I'm hoping that he survives and the Knicks can do something for that organization. I'm hopeful for the Knicks. I really do think that they're going to do something great, but I'm just not expecting Bridges' streak of 474 continuous games to continue. And Manny's number 1 fix of 6. This is a little bit of a throwback. Corey Perry lost another Stanley Cup Finals. I'm not gonna sit here to bash the dead horse or disrespect him for losing another Stanley Cup, but I do want to acknowledge that he has been on 4 different teams that have lost the Stanley Cup. He lost with the
Mhm.
Oilers. He lost with Tampa Bay in 2022. He lost in 2021, and he was on the infamous Dallas Stars team in 2020, which also lost the Stanley Cup. So I'm sorry that you are the curse of your franchises. Maybe for all the franchises that want to win a Stanley Cup, maybe don't sign Corey Perry because it seems like he is the curse of all curses when it comes to winning a Stanley Cup. So that is Manny's rapid fire fix of six. JB, go.
JB's number 3 fix of 6. The University of Miami, the U, have landed the 2026 four-star quarterback Darion Coleman. Now, I bring this up not because I know Darion Coleman and we're close and he comes over for Sunday dinner. I bring it up because I'm really liking what Mario Cristobal is doing at Miami. He is slowly but surely bringing Miami back into relevancy. And just to highlight that, they were 7-6 last year, but they've had the number 4 class this year. They had the number 7 class last year. It's only going to take maybe this year, next year, maybe before they're actually going to come up to the cream of the crop of the ACC and to be and to be in that conversation. And now that NCAA is doing a 12-team playoff, it'd be really easy. I could see Miami doing some special things this year and actually sneaking in there. But either way, I'm excited to see what Mario Cristobal is doing, and I couldn't be more here for it. Number 2, I want to bring up the whole Jaden Daniels thing. So a couple weeks ago, Brandon Ayuk, who was a teammate of Jaden Daniels at Arizona State, made that TikTok, and there were all these questions about, okay, well, what's going to happen next year? I've long said from the outset of from the onset of the offseason of this past NFL season that Brandon Ayuk is going to be the one that is on the outs at San Francisco. I do not think Ayuk is going to be in San Francisco next year. In fact, I think it's even more solidified that Ayuk will be with Washington next season, catching passes from his former quarterback.
Hashtag mark it
And
down. Hot take.
JB's number 1 fix of 6. Going back to baseball, Liam Hendriks. Liam Hendriks is one of my favorite ball players that I've watched in recent memory, and he is now on his way back, rehabbing his Tommy John surgery. And this is a guy who I believe had cancer, and now he is coming back from Tommy John. Liam Hendriks is one of the great competitors of today's game. And if my beloved Cubs are going to throw it all away this season, which I mean, they've shown every indication that they just don't care, then I believe that I hope that the Cubs actually sign Liam Hendriks to a 2-year deal, let him finish rehabbing, let him come back full for next season. And those are JB and Manny's fix of 6.
I have an honorable mention, JB. And this is a quick one single sentence honorable mention. Not JB. Manny's honorable mention for fix of 6. Garrett Cole, get your life together. That is all. That is all I have to say.
That is your PSA.
Yes, right.
Cole, get your life together.
JB, what are you sipping on?
I'm sipping on a Japanese rice whiskey, Kokori.
Ooh.
I bought this last year. I put it away during the summer months because I heard it was best to drink while it was cold. and I forgot I had it, and now I'm back drinking it in the summer months. And so I brought it back. It's nice. It is harsh. It's got some harshness to it, but it has a really nice taste to it. And I'm smoking just one of my go-tos, a Nika Rustica.
Nice.
So it's a Drew Estate. This is the Adobe. These are one of my just $6 sticks that I get to fill my humidor anytime I want an easy smoke. This one's been a little tricky because I've had to relight it several times. But most of the time, it's a good stick. What you drinking?
JB, I'm going back to an oldie but goodie. My life has been in shambles for the last month, so I didn't go and venture out to find something new. So I'm bringing back the old Foster
The
100
old
proof
Forrest Whitaker. Nice.
Forester. That's right.
Yeah.
100 proof, not too bad. I finished off the bottle. So mostly it was to just make sure that I could, not waste no drop of alcohol left behind is my mantra. So I had to finish it off.
Good.
That's a good
That's a
mantra to
good
have. I
philosophy
know.
to live
I
by.
thought you'd have.
Yeah.
I knew you'd like that. So yeah, it's 100 proof. So as expected, it's gonna kind of smack you in the face a little bit when it comes to drinkability and roughness behind it. But it's good. It's sippable. It's very straight to the point when it comes to whiskey. It doesn't give you anything extra, and it doesn't take anything away from any kind of flavors that you're expecting out of a whiskey. It's just, I would call it a straight line whiskey where you know what you're gonna get, which is a very dominant whiskey taste. So that's what I'm drinking.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Well, folks, that wraps it up for this week's rendition of Box Scores and Bourbon. Remember, follow us on Spotify, follow us on YouTube at Box Scores and Bourbon, and check out our content on Instagram and TikTok at BSB Sports 24. Follow us, click subscribe. We are looking for 100 followers, subscribers by the end of 2024 on every platform, and it is absolutely doable. We thank you guys for listening, and until next time, cheers and have a happy, and safe Independence Day weekend.
Happy birthday, America.
America!